Merry Christmas to all. Happy Hanukkah. Whatever you celebrate, warmest wishes to you and your families. In light of the holiday season, let's take a look at a festively inspired comic book story, Marvel's Holiday Special from 2005. There'll be presents, monsters, and evil robotic Santas galore. There's 3 separate stories. Who could possibly want more? We begin our first tale, The Mole Man's Christmas, with a department store Santa dealing with a crying boy, before a monstrous green arm smashes through the ground and grabs him, to the delight of some of the children. It carries him below the surface, goodbye Santa, to the underground lair of the Mole Man and his army of Moloids. Only Mole Man himself is nowhere to be seen. The Santa is then thrown down another hole, and we realize several of them have been abducted and placed there. Thankfully, the Fantastic Four defeat another group of mole monsters before the next victim can be taken. Mr. Fantastic uses a brainwave monitor to analyze the mind patterns of one of the Moloids, and we see that they had been giving their master Mole Man presents. He got a snow globe, uttered the word Santa, and then threw it on the ground, breaking it, before storming off. He hasn't been seen since. Mr. Fantastic explains that his last word may be a clue, and that the Moloids believed they could bring him back with a plethora of Santas. If it isn't obvious by now, the whole thing is a reference to Citizen Kane's Rosebud scene, which also features a snow globe shattering and a mysterious word being a clue. The Thing leaves the rest of the team, though, hoping to stop the Mole Man in less violent and aggressive means. It is the Christmas season after all. He asks Spider-Man and the Hulk if they know where Mole Man is. Hulk is at a payphone in the middle of the desert. Hilarious. Thing even goes to She-Hulk, and she explains that Mole Man has been abducting women and forcing them to be his bride. We then cut to one of them who was upset because he was leaving her to try and marry She-Hulk, only to sit there holding a picture, and he utters the word Santa yet again. Ben goes to the home of Mole Man's mom, and she tells him he always loved Christmas. It was his favorite time of year. The department store Santas never let him sit on their lap because of his appearance, and his dad would always dress as Santa every Christmas Eve, which made him feel wanted. As the Fantastic Four fight the Moloids underground, the Thing orders them to stop because he brought along Santa Claus, who is really Namor the Submariner in disguise. The Moloids grab Namor and throw him onto Mole Man's throne, pleased that they now have what they believe to be the right Santa Claus. So the Moloids, the Fantastic Four, and Namor wait and wait, but there's no sign of Mole Man. Ben tells the Moloids to stop kidnapping Santas and that it won't bring their boss back. They release their prisoners, and Mr. Fantastic believes the word Santa might not have been the answer at all. We cut to the shattered snow globe, where a small palm tree lies within. Mole Man just wanted a vacation. You sly dog. Our next story is Yes, Virginia, There is a Sandtron, and it begins with Spider-Man running late, swinging to Stark Tower to pick up Mary Jane for the Avengers holiday party, which is taking place at Doctor Strange's. He arrives to find MJ already talking with some of the Avengers before Doctor Strange makes his entrance. We then cut to a mysterious woman who activates a robotic Santa Claus, which grabs its sack and hops onto a proton-powered sleigh. She explains that this Santa is not the real thing, that she believes there is no real thing. There's no way one man can get to all the children in the world like that. However, there will be one now. A child will no longer be laughed at when they say Santa exists. She opens the skylight and the robot Santa takes off. Merry Christmas to all, except the Avengers. The Avengers must die. Back at the party, Doctor Strange casts a spell to form a Christmas tree, but he warns the Wasp of it because it is a carnivorous, shape-shifting blood tree. How festive. He also has a display up for Kwanzaa, as well as other religious offerings because Doctor Strange accepts all religious backgrounds and practices. Spider-Man adds the finishing touches to the tree and stops it from attacking everyone by webbing it up. While tracking the Avengers, the robot Santa electrocutes a couple hoodlums before taking off for his final destination. It's revealed that the mistletoe that allowed Iron Man, Captain America, and almost Wolverine to snatch a kiss from Spider-Woman has been remote-controlled by Hank Pym the whole time. After Iron Man and Yellow Jacket get knocked on their asses, the party is interrupted by the robot Santa. Luke Cage utters his classic catchphrase, "Sweet Christmas," and the Santa determines that every member of the Avengers has been naughty. Wolverine takes a slash at the Jolly Fat Man, only for it to be revealed as one of Ultron's robots, Series 6. It unleashes a massive electrical attack before being distracted by a plate with a note and a Christmas cookie. The Santron eats the cookie, which had been housing the power cell found in the remote-controlled mistletoe from earlier, and it disables the Ultron 6 from the inside. Hank takes apart the robot's head and figures out the girl who programmed it was named Virgie Hanlon. She had done some freelance work for the Stark power cell plant. Within the Ultron's neural net, they see that Christmas meant a lot to her as a child, and she was bullied for believing in Santa Claus. After a battle with the Avengers, Ultron upgraded yet again, and one of his damaged, older models sought someone who could fix it. Virgie's psyche and want to undo the biggest wrong in her life, combined with the hatred Ultron had towards the Avengers, and allowed the evil robot to influence her mind. Instead of turning Virgie into the police, they decide to bring the Christmas party to her and spread some Christmas cheer. Virgie, this is a skeptical age. People don't believe in things they can't comprehend. But to say there's no Santa Claus, you might as well say there are no heroes. Some among us inspire childlike faith and wonder. They become more than people or even legends. They become ideals. Ideals are bigger than any person, and we need them. They speak to what's best in us. There's a veil covering the unseen world, which not even the united strength of the strongest that ever lived can tear apart. Only faith, fancy, poetry, love, romance can push aside that curtain and picture the beauty and glory beyond. Is it all real? There's nothing more real or lasting. Yes, Virginia, as sure as generosity and devotion exist to give life joy, there is a Santa Claus. And finally, we have the last story, Christmas Day in Manhattan, which is written as a poem and is most effective read as such. However, I will give you a brief summation. We see a family living in a rundown apartment building on Manhattan's east side. There are two kids praying for extravagant gifts this Christmas Eve, while their parents have an argument in the kitchen. The father is a recently released convict who can't secure a job, and had done time for criminal activities he performed in his youth. But tonight, in order to give his kids the Christmas they want, he must become the villain Hurricane once more. He breaks into a toy store and tries to pick out gifts for his kids, only to be interrupted and beaten by the Thing. He tries to fight back with electrical generators in his suit, but to no avail. Mr. Fantastic opens his bag, only to find iPods and dollies within, no cash or intent to cause harm. Hurricane surrenders and tells them he was only doing it for his kids. The story ends with the Fantastic Four arriving at the man's house and celebrating Christmas with his family. Though I enjoy the goofy twist ending to the Mole Man Christmas and the silliness of an Ultron Santa, I will admit the final story, Christmas Day in Manhattan, is the best of the three. It explains the harsh realities of this time of year, and the sacrifices some people have to make in order to please their family's wishes. While Christmas is a time to be with family and cherish all that we have, make sure to respect and care for those that might not have the same. I hope you all find a way to enjoy this time of year, and always remember that love and kindness is more important than any one material. Happy holidays from yours truly, NerdGasm.